The same one. You got T-Mobile?
No.
But it ain't gonna charge you. Why you ask? I had got a number. I never used it because they were charging. T-Mobile. Somebody said that T-Mobile charging for the fact that they not getting money from them people for the service, so they trying to make their money off of us. Cause they charging niggas to get on some of the blog talk numbers too. You know it is what it is. You know, so. But
Ooh, Malia, you got bands too, not little thing.
We will work some story in. We have to work something in for Purim because it is Purim. And
Michael.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And I feel like you putting pointers in her hair.
Yes, I am. I've been wearing glasses since '89. I was supposed to been wearing it since '89.
Let me get your eye.
You see?
Well.
That nigga is gone.
Well. Wake up.
I'm surprised. I'm not surprised.
All three of them niggas sleep.
I'm not surprised the white slept. Yes.
They back there like you sleep.
I ain't sleep. I'm over here doing push-ups.
I'm over here doing push-ups. You remember when Will said that?
Yeah. Somebody over here. And the nigga did a half a push-up too. So.
He did about 3 of them.
You know what I'm saying? This nigga is crazy. But man, it's alright, man. You niggas tired, man. Stop telling them lies, boy. Okay, because you got tired. You know what I'm saying?
What you want to call it? You lost some energy.
I didn't get tired when I was young. I get tired now though. I hear you. You would see. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee you right now, your mouth got a little bit of about a quarter tent of morning breath in it. You know what I'm saying? You know what happened when you doze for a little while? You don't get the full effect. You get a little bit of. Hello? I ain't mad. I don't care about sleep. Hello? Oh, what's up here?
Oh, don't worry. I'm getting mine.
I don't know. They say they don't talk to you on Fridays. They say call back on Tuesday. Kira say how y'all doing? She said y'all better answer. She said she didn't ask y'all to speak. She said how y'all doing? They say they all right. They say send some money to the United Negro College Fund.
You hear me?
Well, that's only the couch first.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
No, that's how you supposed to do it.
But just check it, right?
You agree with steps.
We got a lot for the evening. We're going to still... Girl, put your shirt down. Sean, you don't do that in here.
Let go.
See how the nipples all out?
Michael, let him go. Not Malia.
Shoot. Matubby say he can handle that.
Right.
Rose from the dead. We're gonna still be talking about getting ready, watching, things like
You
that.
see Malia with her ponytail as well.
Y'all all woke up at the same time. How Oh, you was resting at the beginning of it.
That nigga said never really. Don't be a nigga talking about you wasn't asleep. Nigga will bite don't sleep. It's alright, man. I got 33 and a half minutes. Huh? Yeah. I don't even know why I took that nap. That nap ain't hit on nothing. I can't even sleep in the daytime no more.
You want your mommy or you seeing your daddy? Which one?
I can barely sleep at nighttime. Yeah, we still gonna be talking about getting ready, man, and watching, man, and a couple other things, man. Cause what we gonna look at in Purim gonna be dealing with watching and praying, preparing yourself, and praying in the same token. So. I'll share with y'all a point I just made with them. Listening to this, something that
Not on the list. See? Look, you done been through this.
clearly he doesn't understand.
You don't know who you want.
You gotta babysit.
If you're a father, it's not called babysit.
At all.
That was his words. Just using his words.
If you have
Unless he babysit another baby.
yeah, if you got other kids, that's fine.
He babysat his girlfriend, baby.
I just told you now.
Shayla, you know all of this part right here? This part need to dry in the middle area right here.
But in the song, you know, she's made a reference to how Adam and Eve's judgment were perverted because after they did what they did, everything around them remained the same. So in their minds, they thought nothing had changed. That's usually what happens. Hold on. Well, you gotta let me know what you were referring to, Trina, because I just seen that, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't want a good relationship.
He already ruined a relationship with his mama.
So when you commit sin, everything around you seems to remain the same. You know, you don't die. Like, you know, Ecclesiastes 8:11 tell you because a sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, it's privily in the soft hearts of the sons of men to do evil. So because you don't get taxed off the rip for your sin, everything seems to remain the same to you. You don't think that no judgment is coming to your head because your judgment is perverted because nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so easy for people to commit sin. And the more poignant point of what she stated is this.
Give it all back, Michael.
Adam and Eve had instructions from Elohim. And if you walking in the word, you had this man instructions. So when you go outside of that word and your judgment is perverted because nothing has happened to you. And you know what perverts people's judgment even the more? Is that they do evil and then they seem like good things happen to them. Okay. That's the number one thing that get people crossed up. You do evil and then it seems like good. The things that you like or the things that you want seem to come into your hand, and then you feel like Yah is doing that for you because your judgment is perverted. Because we can read Job 8:20, where this man tell you he does not help out evildoers. If you doing evil, this man will not help you. He ain't got nothing to do with it. He ain't gonna bless you. I'll read it to you so y'all just think I ain't talking. Give me a second. No, I mean time and chance can happen. Sometimes y'all can let you get stuff just for your own destruction or to prove out your heart. You know, just because you get certain things don't mean Satan the one shot at your way. It says here in Job 8:20, behold, Elohim will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. See, a lot of times we feel like this man gonna go against his own word. Like, okay, I had somebody tell me like, okay, it don't seem like you've gotten any gain from serving the living God. But you know that 1 Timothy chapter 6 tell you that men of corrupt minds and corrupt disputings and perverse minds who think gain is godliness. Because people look at certain things and if they feel like they see an increase, then they feel like God is with this person. But if they would have saw Elijah or Elisha or Hamashiach or Jeremiah and seen their lives, they might have believed based on how your mind is worked that Yah was not with these men. Shalom, Brother DC. Because they 8 and 20. I ain't pulled that in a long time. I used to pull that quite regularly. But y'all need to remember that though. He said he will not cast away a perfect man.
Ain't nothing in it.
He said, nor will he help an evildoer. The reason why I say this, because you have a lot of people who walk in the word and then they may backslide. You know what I'm saying? And then they feel like in the midst of their rebellion or their transgression that things begin to look good for them, and they begin to think that Yah is helping them, that he's blessing them. And what you could perceive to be a blessing could actually be for your damnation. Sigh, you're not even crying for real. Not even crying for real. So you have to think about that. I don't think people think about that. I don't think people weigh that. I think they just skeet it and right over their brain, or they feel like it don't pertain to them, and it's all because your judgment is perverted. Because you felt like, because you didn't get reprimanded right then for your sin, that he's stamping that he rocking with you.
What's your hair? That's not your hair.
You have to think about that stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff people don't think about. It's a lot of stuff people don't be concerned with. Tell the difference from what? Yeah, because it's here right. As soon as y'all get done and you take it in down, we're going to roll. So get these niggas quiet. Hello, Renee.
Yes.
Would you like to go get your hat? Secure your hair. It's time. You're getting ready to pray. That man don't care nothing about your head. Make you go bald.
Up the chair.
Girl, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Last one. The last one she got.
You ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, nerd. You ain't gonna do nothing with that.
The last one.
No, we heard water.
Oh.
That's why I wanted her to explain. I was like,
You're not even shedding tears.
She just want me to. She's hungry and she's sleeping. And she don't want.
I seen that little muffin. I know that kind of hurt.
Baby, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, they taking injuries.
I know. You got taller. You taller than you think you are.
Oh, believe you me, you know if you're getting rewarded for evil doing. You'll know it. That's not something that you can sit back and say this is an indicator of how you can tell the difference. If you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you know if that man will reward you for it because he a man of his word. But you know if you outside this man's word and you've been doing stuff you ain't got no business, you know when that man coming to see you. Everybody knows because everybody knows how they live. So the man tell you he gonna give you according to your works. So everybody knows what you getting and why you getting it. It's just some people delude their own minds into believing that I'm out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like he blessing me anyway because I say I love him, or I say this, or I say that, or you know, things of that nature.
Careful. Malia.
Can I have it? We'll give it to Mark. Mark.
He told me to give it to you, so.
So that's how that works.
Can you give this to Mark? He like, no, give it to Mark.
So you ought to keep that in mind. Because he tell you clear as day that he doesn't clear the guilty and he gonna come see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you doing what you supposed to be doing, you could tell if that's just affliction for the word or you suffer for the word versus you just got rewarded for your sins. A lot of people are not suffering for the word, they suffering for their sins. Like I say, but then you have some people who they're not suffering for their sins. It seems like they're getting rewarded. You know, he say he do that for the evil. That's why a lot of people envy the wicked, because they feel like the wicked get everything and the righteous don't get nothing, and they can't understand why. Why do the righteous seem like they get lack and the wicked get everything? Because everybody looking at stuff from the framework of this life, because niggas want the things in this life. You don't want the things in the life to come. You want the Benz that the wicked driving, and you wonder why you can't get the Benz. You want the $100,000, the $1 million that the wicked get, and you wonder why you can't get it. You're not realizing that their pleasures is temporary, that when there's an eternal kingdom rises that have streets made out of pure gold that look like transparent glass and no tears and no death, that those people won't be a part of that. That's the point of what he was showing you in that Luke 16 in the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. See, the rich man lived lovely in his lifetime, but now he was in torments. And Lazarus had sores and was a beggar, but now he was resting in comfort. This is why he tell you not to be envious of the wicked, nor desire anything that they have, nor desire to be with them.
What is that?
You know what I'm saying? But niggas desire what the wicked have, and they want to be with them.
Open the door.
Well, high mind is only going to come, when I say to judge righteously, when you do wrong and nothing happens, your judgment gets perverted. Because you already had some perversion in doing wrong. So then, because nothing bad has happened to you right then, and everything seems to continue on the same, your judgment is perverted even more. And that emboldens people to continue to walk in transgression. Well, I hope that y'all, you don't never have to go to no funeral, because boy, you gonna put on a show.
Can you give me that bonnet on the counter dresser?
I'm talking about you are getting ready early for that.
Yeah, sure. But you already got a scarf on your
You know, let's just say to sit there and think about, because it's a lot of our people, they feel that way. Just like I've been telling y'all, all niggas wanted to make you feel like is that the word is only about telling people they Israel. That's what dudes has made this thing about. It's not even about y'all no more. It's not about Yahushua no more.
What's wrong, Andre?
It's all about you, Israel.
You gotta wait till you eat, Mom.
Stop.
It's all about you, Israel. It's not about living clean. It's not about faith.
You gotta wait till you eat.
It's not about Hamashiach. It ain't about any of that. Lines get distorted. Things get blurred. Souls get lost. A lot of people's souls going to be lost because they seek their own way and they follow after their own heart and they trust in their own heart. And it's going to be for their destruction. And it doesn't. So I'm going to tell y'all something too, because this is how a lot of niggas get got. Because niggas always mention in the name of Yah. Always. They think because niggas think because you say the true names, you straight. Or because you know a few things and you obey a few things, you straight. But I keep telling y'all, man, niggas' faith be on zero. You don't really believe the word. So when you get tested and tried, you fold. And he will reject you. A perfect man is complete and whole. The only thing that can make a man whole is faith. The law can't make you whole, never intended to.
Leah, where you going?
Yeah, that's how you get stuck in a delusion, when you feel like you can continue to do wrong. Yeah, and I was thinking that, and I'll probably show y'all that in a second. He kept telling them that they faith made them perfect. It made them complete. It made them sound. It gave them a sound wellness, a sound wholeness. The law couldn't do that for you. You know what I'm saying? And brothers don't realize that. Niggas, I'll tell you, man, like I told y'all last night, right? And I'll say it again. I don't see how niggas rock with dudes who don't believe in y'all. Because that means you hang with niggas who disrespect your nigga, your father, your brother, your people. You cool with being around niggas who down talk your people. Which lets me know you cool with hanging with niggas who down talk your friends. You know what I'm saying? Which means you the type of nigga that ought to be shot. You know what I mean? Bottom line. Like that junk don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how niggas hang out with enemies of their friends. You know what I'm saying? If you my friend and a nigga your enemy, he my enemy too. The only way that don't apply is if that's somebody that I knew along with you, and then that's whatever y'all got going on. I'm staying up out of that. But I'm going to let that be known that I'm not getting involved in that. And that's between you and them. And I let that other party know that. That ain't something where I'm going to have you guessing. I'm going to let that be known. Like, I don't got nothing to do with that. That's between you and him, because I'm all right with you. I'm all right with him. I'm not finna get in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? But if it ain't a situation like that, and a nigga riding on you and dissing you, well, shoot, that's my enemy too. I don't mess with him either. You know what I'm saying? I don't mess with him either. Bottom line, that's why David said in Psalm 139, he say, do I hate them? He said, I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them as my enemies. He counted whoever was an enemy of Yah as his enemy. If you against my people, I'm against you too. Most dudes ain't real enough to rock like that. They don't understand that. Because that's what he was saying. If you an enemy of Yah, you an enemy of mine. You don't fool with my Elohim, I don't fool with you. I'm not going to sit around nobody disrespecting my people, running their mouth against my people. I'm not on that. You know what I'm saying? People ain't got no problem with that. Just like we were talking to that dude last night, he went to blaspheming. I'm going to check you, bro. I'm not going to sit here and let you disrespect my people, bro. I'm not on that. I'm not on that. Some people ain't got no problem with that. Hey, man, that's the morals and the codes of ethics you grew up with. I don't know. I ain't on that. I'm going to tell y'all something real too. Sometimes a nigga can come tell me something that a nigga said about my people. I won't even tell him. I just leave that alone. Because you ain't going to do nothing but have nigga come mash out on you and all that there. I be trying to spare niggas. Nigga don't even know. Nigga be sparing niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Just let niggas live. Just leave them alone. Niggas a cornball. You just leave them alone. Say you the hassle and the trouble. You ain't got to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Stay busted and sucker free. That's all you can do. Yes, baby. You look very nice. Give y'all my hug for being here. Tell her thank you.
Here, in the kitchen. Come on, sit down. In the kitchen, on the floor. Now.
Renee, go sit in there in the kitchen on the floor.
You look very, very, very pretty. You look so pretty.
You know what I'm saying? Man, dudes be out here, man. I ain't with it. That's my people. I know that's right, brother Burns. You're not finna disrespect my people. You supposed to look at your Elohim as that's your people. How you let somebody sit around disrespect your people?
That's what Yama said.
How you gonna be down with somebody who tell you your God ain't real? Mocking, disrespecting, scorning, and you trying to link up with him. You's a buster. You'll do your friends like that. If you do your Elohim like that, I know you do your friends like that. I don't care who don't like it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see that. I don't respect that. That's not 100. That's not real. Not hanging with nobody that disrespect my people, man. I ain't finna let nobody disrespect my people. We just talking about that last night. It was a situation dude felt like they could get off on my people, man. No, bro, I straight them every time. I don't care what we going through. You not finna disrespect my people. You not finna do it. Niggas not finna let it slide. It's not cool. That stuff ain't cool, man. You ain't supposed to let nobody disrespect your Elohim. Do you not realize in that book he ain't let nobody disrespect Yasharal? He stood up and defended you, even when you ain't deserved to be defended. And you gonna sit back and let people disrespect him? You gonna sit back and hang with people who talk trash about your people? What does that say about your character? What type of character does a person possess to do that? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. What's up with your character? That ain't no personality flaw. That's your character. You know what I'm saying? I bet you ain't finna sit around and let nobody sit back and talk bad about your wife, about your kids, about your mama, about your daddy. You gonna let somebody sit around and talk bad about the father all Ruachs who you claim is your Elohim? You gonna let somebody do that? Yeah, he put Job's friends in their place. He had to put Job's friends in their place because Job was his friend. Don't sit back and talk bad about Job. Job's friend, we talked about that last night too. Job's friends was an example of that. Looking to have something to say about their friend. What type of friend is that? What type of friend is that? You know what I'm saying? What type of friend? These three friends, your friend just lost his whole family, everything he had, and all you trying to figure out is where his sin at. Them ain't friends. Friends don't do that. Friends don't do that. But guess what y'all did? Came through in the cut and defended his friend, because I let you whole niggas sit around and talk bad about this man too long. I got to get some straightening. That's how he stand up strong on the behalf of those that love him, whose heart is perfect towards him. He gonna come through in the clutch and get some straightening. We don't even be realizing that. He gonna come through in the clutch. He gonna get some straightening. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be able to stand up and get some straightening for your Allah. He ain't riding you in the flesh. Riding with no nigga hate my God. I ain't riding with no nigga diss my friends. Ain't on that, man. Ain't on that, man. You know, that's how I feel. You know what I'm talking about? Niggas always talking about unity this and unity that. You know, unify because we black, put doctrines to the side. Hey, man, I ain't got no problem doing nothing with black people. But the minute you open your mouth, start disrespecting my God, you got to get your sucker behind away from me. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You got to get away from me. It's time to go eat, muffin. What you want?
I'm thirsty.
It's not over here, baby. Go see your mommy.
Mommy, get
I'm telling you, man. I ain't on that.
You want what, baby?
She wants something from back here, but I don't know what it is she wants.
Go sit down so you can eat. Get your apron. Now over here with the rest of the children.
This is the rest of the children. Just gotta consider, man. You gotta sit back and wait like this, man. How hard would you ride for your friends? If you know the book say that Abraham was a friend of Elohim, Abraham rode for his friend. So therefore Yahuwah rode for him. How hard you gonna ride for your friend? Just like she just mentioned, Jonathan rode for David, and David rode for Jonathan. How hard you gonna ride for your friend? Jonathan ain't sit around letting his daddy disrespect David. He wasn't on that. Daddy or not, he wasn't on that. That's my man. That's my nigga. I ain't feeling that. I don't go for that. Niggas got some real bad characters out here, B. Straight up, you know what I mean? I wouldn't care who don't like it. You know what I'm talking about? That's just code of the street. You feel me? That's code of the street. You don't hang with niggas who disrespect your friends. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. Do that. Straight up. I'm tripping, right? I would listen to an interview. That nigga Cameron was like, that nigga Mace left Jim Jones alone back in the day, because Jim Jones, he said Jim Jones come tell him, yeah, man, these dudes around the way talking bad. And he was like, and you let them talk bad about me, bro? You ain't straighten that? Nigga Cameron say Mace ain't want nothing to do with Jim Jones on that because he felt like that was disloyal. Felt like you wasn't a solid individual because you didn't defend me to these people who were disrespecting me, and you say you my friend. I'll tell you right now, man, I done been in situations recently where niggas done said something about my friends, you know what I'm saying, I straighten them, and then I ain't even tell my friend what was said. As I felt like telling for what? Situation already been handled. Don't make sense to. You know what I'm saying? They in there straight? Everybody in there, they all in there good?
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
You positive? We finna get ready to pray in a second, y'all. Get this show on the road. I'm just reiterating that point because I was talking about it Wednesday or whatever day that was. You know what I'm saying? Or Thursday. Was it Thursday? No, it was Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned it last night, and I mentioned it again, because that's what it is. And it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know that's right, brother. You know what I mean? You know I ain't. All right, so I'm. If they ain't ready, y'all ain't ready. Them niggas in there ain't ready. They always say they're ready, but they don't be ready.
Yeah, we are ready.
I just see. If y'all gonna pass their place out now, you might well do that now and not in the midst. Well, then, if I'm talking about if you're gonna make them, you need to make them now, because I would not advise you to make them in the midst of once we get started.
We gonna wait till you pray.
I wouldn't even advise. I'm not even gonna wait for that. If you're gonna make them, you need to make them now and pass them out now. Not in the after I done prayed, not while I'm preaching. Need to go ahead and do that now. Let's give it a second, y'all. That's like a proper preparation. No, I'm just saying that there because that means you ain't gonna be focused. If you trying to go fix a plate and do this here, that means you ain't focused on what you need to be focused on. That food ain't the number one focus. I mean, that's just being honest, though. I mean, especially dealing with what we talking about being ready. You definitely doing this here. You ain't ready.
No comment.
Well, it's like he told Mark when he told Mary to help. Mary told him to tell Martha to help me. He said, "You know, you're coming about with many things, but Martha has chosen that best part, and that part won't be taken away from her." Huh?
I'm talking to myself. That's all.
I see that. I see that. No, I just don't want no. It might be distracted.
Yeah.
And they move around doing that.
I understand.
We got to try to hit a lot. It's about a quarter, about 10 minutes to 9. We got a lot of information to try to process this evening. You know what I'm saying? Especially son, I'm going to try to finish what we had started in 2 Chronicles 23. And then especially dealing with watching and being ready. And the things that pertain to that. Because it's a lot that pertains to that. I seen a brother talking to my son. Brother was like, yeah, man, you supposed to occupy till he come. Nigga was talking about occupying till they come. Was dealing with telling everybody we Israelites. It's always funny to me how people sit back and look at the word and take the word and the things that they try to apply with it. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I see my cousin looking at something. A bit different. You know, and we done talked about that before. You know, it's a lot of people that believe that. You know that they believe that that there's two separate creation stories in the book of Genesis. to them it looks like two separate things, but it's the same thing.
Boy, right, chill, take them off.
Y'all just bear with us for a moment while they just get me played together.
Alright. Chilling.
Looking for some color.
So this always. I don't know what they got going on there. It's always a lot of stuff. I see these boys going in right now.
I would advise you not to be paying right now. It ain't the moment.
What is in your mouth? Stop eating things.
See what she eating? They just putting everything in their mouth. Huh? They churn. That's what they do. They got to try it out.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Why does it have to go in your mouth? Why can't you just look at it?
Because then I can't understand the texture of it if I don't place it upon my mouth. Get a good taste, and I can really ascertain what this is.
Eat your food. Eat your spaghetti.
We should be rolling in a couple minutes, y'all.
Fire at, man, you know.
Trying to think of one of the, like I say, we'll pick up with that story in Chronicles with the Levites and the people that were broke up into certain spots and the things that they were broke up to go do. We also going to be looking at what it means to watch. Certain things that go along with watching. And when you see those things that go along with watching, you'll see the difference in what it's talking about and some of the things that'll be discussed. Because we talked a little bit about being ready. Still got a lot more to talk about as it pertains to being ready. Then, of course, we talking about watching, and then we talking about praying. You know what I'm saying? Because as you watching, you ought to be praying. Watching is a little bit different than the framework of what you think watching may be referring to, because it's not necessarily talking about literally watching something. When we actually look at what it means to watch, at least from the Greek definition of certain words and the epistle letters, it's a little different. It's a little different. And you'll see that watching is not necessarily what you thought it might have been. Henceforth, it's just simple observation. Because there's a lot of people, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not watching. There's a lot of people that ain't watching. And I guess it could go into what we were just talking about the perversion of judgment. You know, they're definitely looking at perversion of judgment coming in when you talk about not watching and things of that nature.
Are you eating?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
I will not eat till I'm done.
At home, very respectable.
Yeah. You good. All right. Now everybody good? Everybody got their food?
They go real.
Everybody got their food? Y'all ready now?
And hope.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a response would have been very helpful to be able to
I thought you
ascertain.
were talking to the woman.
I was.
Yes, it looks like it.
And hope.
All right, let's go ahead and pray, y'all. All right. All right. All right, YAHUAH, we thank you for allowing us to gather on our Shabbat, continuing to feast on the days of Purim. Thank you for our opportunity to rejoice in thy goodness and thy gladness, that we might understand the salvation which you worked for our fathers in the days of old, which you will work for all those who trust thee and fear thee and hope in thee in the last day. We ask you to look upon thy people, to the whole house of Yahusha, to the Yahudym first, and also to the heathen, all those who seek thee and serve thee and desire thy salvation. Let thy mercies extend unto them, that they might be quickened to everlasting life by the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh, to be conformed to the sons and daughters of the living Elohim. Remember all the synagogues and assemblies of Yahuwah in the four corners of the earth, and let thy mercies extend unto them. Visit them with a word from on high, that thy esteem may be found in the whole earth, in the testimony of thy Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, that men might learn righteousness, that they might learn Kadosh, that they might learn the fear of Elohim, that their hearts might be cleansed, and they might be purified, to be counted worthy to be seen in thy sight. As you remember the hosts and Shamahim and apostles and prophets that paved the way of the faith, and to send laborers into thy harvest, for the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Which the word which you covenanted with our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, might be fulfilled, that we might return unto thee, to walk in that covenant which you extended unto them, that we might be delivered from our enemies in the hand of all those that hate us, that we might serve thee in light and righteousness all the days of our life. Remember, assembly the firstborn individually and collectively, and let the love of Hamashiach dwell in our hearts by faith. Signify thy truth in our inward parts, that we might move by wisdom, that we might move by faith, that we might show forth the praises of him who created us in true Kadosh. Let us not seek after our own heart and our own way. Let us not move in the ways of unrighteousness, that judgment might be perverted. That thy mercies may always be with us, and that we hold on to thy covenant, that you might keep your covenant with us. As we proceed further, Father, we ask you for a word from high, word, truth, and righteousness to come to us, that we may know him that is true, and we are in him that is true. Even our Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, this is the true Elohim and eternal life. Father, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahuwah by Hashem, Yahushua this day. So be it. John 5:39, man. After that, I got something else. I'll figure out what it is in a minute. Dang, I ain't got my other book. John chapter 5 and verse 39. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yah, in the name of his Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, our Master and Savior. John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from Elohim only? That's people's biggest mistake. They don't seek the honor that comes from Elohim only. Let's go to the book of Esther. Hold on before we go to the book of Esther. There's something else I got to do first. Hold on. With one of these words. With one of these words. Before you go to the book of Esther, I need you to slide to 1 Corinthians chapter 16 and verse 13. Actually, no, it's not that. It's second. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 16 and 13. 1 Corinthians 16 and 13. Make it about verse 10, though.
Leah, go eat. Oh.
Listen to what he said. 1 Corinthians 16 and 10. It says, now if Timothy is come, see that he may be with you without fear. For he worked the work of the master, as I also do. I'm going to ask y'all a question. What do you think he mean when he say he worked the work of the master? He said he worked the work of the master as Paul do. What did Paul do? Y'all don't know what Paul was? Man, come over here to Galatians chapter 1 if y'all know what Paul was. I mean, but No, he's a preacher. Galatians chapter 1 and 1 4. But he's a preacher. You got to remember that. We talked about this. Come over here to 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1. Timothy was a preacher. He was a minister. He was a servant of Elohim. He was telling them to accept him because he works in the word just like he works in the word. They laborers. They co-laborers. He say, therefore, my son, be strong in the favor that is in Yahushua HaMashiach. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. I was talking about this the other day, and most high willing, I'll be able to go into this in more in depth as time goes on. I've told y'all this before, though. A man can ordain another man to preach the word. A man can, because Paul appointed Timothy, he taught Timothy, and he just told Timothy to go teach other men. Let's go look at Titus chapter 1 for that. So I'm going to tell y'all something else so you can notice here. A man cannot appoint a man to be an apostle, and a man can't appoint a man to be a prophet. Only YAHUAH can do that. Those are jobs that only YAHUAH can give. But a man can appoint a man to be a minister. He can appoint a man to be a pastor. He can appoint a man to be a teacher. You know what I'm saying? He can do that. Titus chapter 1. We started about verse 4. He say, Titus, my own son, after the common faith, favor, mercy, and shalom from Elohim the Father, and the Master Yahushua HaMashiach our Savior. For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldst set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city as I had appointed thee. So he's sitting here telling you, he appointed Titus to be a preacher. And he's telling Titus to go ordain and send other men to teach. And then he's giving them the qualifications that the men must be able to do to be an elder or a pastor. And he says, if any man be blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly. So you sit back and you look at it, right? What you think he mean when he say this man has not been accused of being riotous or unruly? I got you. Look at it and yeah, that's like I said. Yeah, I heard you say rebellious. When we look at riot, it's somebody who lives a dissolute life, unsavedness, excess. Basically, somebody who lives outside the way. And then you know if somebody's unruly, they're just out of order. But unruly is literally not made subject, not ordered to control, or disobedient. So that means that somebody who says that they want to be a pastor, or even a teacher of the word, a minister, they can't be accused of being disobedient. They can't be accused of not coming under subjection to the word, and they can't be in excess of things that are not proper. Do you know how many dudes get canceled out on that you don't qualify for that, to be able to do that? And it say you got to be the husband of one wife. Now you talking about an elder, but we know this is the same thing we read when we looked at a minister in 1 Timothy chapter 3. So a lot of dudes are canceled from that. You don't qualify for that particular position. Because remember, we still talking about these priesthoods too, so I have to interwork some of this stuff in as we go. Then he say, for a bishop must be blameless as the steward of Elohim, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, nor striker, not given to filthy lucre, but a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men. See, that right there cut a lot of people off right there, because there's a lot of dudes, boy, you don't love good men, they love wicked men. Sober. Now, we're going to be talking about that word sober. And what do y'all think that word sober means? You think it's really just talking about being sober? Not getting high? Not getting drunk? It's about having the same mind, but most importantly, it's curbing one's desires or impulses in someone who has self-control. It does sound mind is one of them, but then after that, it's somebody, if you're sober, that means you can control yourself. You know how many dudes can't control themselves dealing with a woman? Because there's a lot of people who go stone cold crazy. Okay, now. He say just, kadesh, and temperate, holding fast the faithful word as he has been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayer. Notice that it says that that elder had to be taught. So it's showing you that a man can appoint another man for this position. Because that's why he said if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desire good work. There's nothing wrong if anybody wants that job. But you got to make sure that you've been taught. Because see, if you're a novice with the word, like Paul said in Timothy, you're going to fall in condemnation of the devil. Come on back to 1 Corinthians 16. We're in verse 11. 1 Corinthians 16 and 11. He said, let no man therefore despise him, but conduct him forth in shalom, that he may come unto me, for I look for him with the brethren. As touching our brother Apollos, I greatly desired him to come unto you with the brethren, but his will was not at all to come at this time. But he will come when he shall have convenient time. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith, quit you like men, be strong, and let all your things be done with charity. We sit back and we look at this word watch right here. And that wasn't the word, it actually one. I think I took it out of here. It literally means to watch or to give the strict attention to and to take heed. Lest if you don't listen, destruction come on you. Now I'm gonna ask y'all a question. I got a couple things in my head. When he tell you to quit you like men, that means to make yourself a man, to be brave. To show yourself a man. That's what he told Job, to gird up your loins like a man. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to ask y'all a question, right? He told you to watch ye. And that the watch means to give strict attention to lest you be destroyed. How many people you could sit back and we could look at this word did not watch and did not give strict attention and they were destroyed? Because this is what it means to watch in a certain instance, is to give strict attention to what's going on. Because if you're not giving strict attention, then you could be destroyed. Let's look at somebody who didn't give strict attention to what was said to him. 1 Kings chapter 13. Meaning that man tell you something, you give strict heed and attention to what he told you, lest something fall upon you. Matter of fact, no, he ain't getting no strict heed and attention. Because his heart was already hard in front of John Street not to even listen. He had already set it up that Pharaoh wasn't going to hear. No, but before Pharaoh even heard anything to be told, his heart was already hard. He told Moses before he even sent him to Pharaoh how hard his heart. 1 Kings 13. 1 Kings 13. Verse 6. Let's see if this man gave strict attention. And let's see if after, because he didn't watch, let's see what happened to him. See, this going back to where I'll sit back and telling you about, it's a lot of people, boy, they not watching. You think literally watching meaning I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? Because remember the master told you to watch and pray. That means you need to give strict attention to what he say lest you be destroyed. And the king answered and said unto the man of Elohim, entreat now the face of YAHUAH thy Elohim, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of Elohim besought YAHUAH, and the king's hand was restored him again, and it became as it was before. And the king said unto the man of Elohim, come home with me, and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of Elohim said unto the king, if thou wilt give me half thy house, I will not go in with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so it was charged me by the word of YAHUAH, eat no bread nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way that thou came. You really enjoy him as a friend, don't you? Now I'm going to tell y'all something. He just told what his charge and what he was supposed to give strict attention to, right? How many of y'all know this story? Did he listen? Let's see. Verse 29. I'm sorry, not 29. Verse 20. I'm sorry, we need to go up some. Verse 14. Because I ain't going to read the whole thing. I just want to see what happened. We're going to look at, did he pay attention? And I'm going to sit back and show you, right, how our minds work sometimes. That we will repeat back what the word says that we shouldn't do and then go do the opposite. Because that's what he's finna do. And who also read the word right back and then did the opposite? That's what I be meaning. Niggas know what they be doing. Please don't touch me with your spaghetti hands.
Lizzie.
Right.
Out.
Let me get your hand right.
Lizzie. You gotta sleep before.
And went after the man of Elohim, and found him sitting under an oak.
She already did, baby.
And he said unto him, Art thou the man of Elohim that came from Yehudah? And he said, I am.
She gotta sleep before.
Then he said unto him, Come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee, neither will I eat bread, nor drink water with thee in this place. For it was said to me by the word of Yahuwah that thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water there, nor turn again to go by the way that thou came. He said unto him, I am a prophet also as thou art, and a Malachim spake unto me by the word of Yahuwah, saying, Bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So he went back with him and did eat bread in his house and drank water. And it came to pass as they sat at the table, the word of Yahuwah came unto the prophet that brought him back. And he cried unto the man of Elohim that came from Yehudah, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of Yahuwah, and hast not kept the commandment which Yahuwah thy Elohim commanded thee, but came back and hast eaten bread and drunk water in this place, of which Yahuwah did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water, thy carcass shall not come unto the sepulchres of thy fathers. This is what will happen to anyone. That's why he told you, watch ye fast. You better be paying attention. You better be giving strict heed and attention to what he told you. Because when he's telling you to stand fast, that's to stand firm. That's to persevere. That's to persist. Like this is. Now let's look at what that means to stand firm. Matthew chapter 7, verse 22. See, a lot of people don't stand firm. They're not giving strict attention to what he's saying. After that, Ephesians chapter 4. Because I'm going to ask y'all a question, right? Did this other prophet give this man Elohim from Yehudah a different form of doctrine? Because you seen what he said Yahuwah told him to do. And the man that was a prophet gave him a different teaching. Not 7 and 22. There's 7 and 22 in Matthew, fine. Screw it. Matthew 7 and 22. Many will say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in thy name? Did that man just prophesy in his name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name did many wonderful works. Did he not heal that man's hand? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. This man didn't listen. He told him, you got to get away from me. You can't even return to the sepulchres of your fathers. You can't come back to where you came from because you didn't listen. You didn't give attention to what I told you to do. Therefore, whosoever hear these sayings of mine and do them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew. Keep that in mind. The winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that hear these sayings of mine and do them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So when you sit back and you give a strict attention to what this man's telling you to do, then you'll be able to stand firm on the word to persist and persevere in the midst of all persecution, afflictions, tribulations, and temptations. This man say, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, he shall receive a crown of life. This is what will be happening if you are watching.
Michael, you don't have to tell everybody you get water.
But unfortunately, many people don't watch. Many people don't watch. Why people don't watch? Why people don't give strict heed and attention to what he's saying is because they want to do what they want to do, and you're not willing to suffer the consequences for your disobedience. That's the reality. Ephesians 4 and 14. Make it 4 and 11 is cool. Let's read 4 and 11. Ephesians 4 and 11. 14 is precisely what I wanted, but we'll start at verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the Kadeshim, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, till we all come in the unity of the faith, of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Mashiach. Notice when he say us coming in the unity of the faith, that the knowledge of the Son of Elohim is the primary focus of it. People always scream about unity, but there will never be any unity until you come to the knowledge of the Son of the living Elohim. As long as niggas around here talking about we Israel, and that's waking up and unifying because you black, it ain't never gonna happen, you clown, because that ain't what that man said. That man said he'll give you one heart and one way in Jeremiah. He said the same thing in Ezekiel. That's one heart, one mind, one body, one Ruach, one Elohim, one Father who is in all and through all and you all. And to come to that unity, it's got to come through the Son. If you don't come through the Son, ain't going to be no unity. Bottom line, the man ain't trying to unify you because you black. This man ain't trying to unify you because you the seed of Yasharah. He trying to unify you in his Son. Listen to what he tell you. I'll read it again. Till we all come in the unity of the faith. The faith is not knowing you Yasharah. The faith is in the Son of Elohim. We can't be unified. We can't be a God till we come together in that. In the knowledge of the Son of Elohim. Unto a perfect man, a complete man, a whole man, a sound man. Unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Mashiach. Listen what he tell you. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men, and cunning craftiness whereby they lay in wait to deceive. That's just what that man did. He laid in wait to lie to that man. He tossed him to and fro with a different form of doctrine. Why you think the master sat back and say, and the winds blew on the house and it fell? Because if you can get swayed by every form of doctrine that come your way, you're going to get deceived. Because this man walk around looking to lie. And if you were watching, if you were steadfast, if you were giving strict attention to what the man told you, then that wouldn't happen. That would not happen. That would not happen. But guess what, though? It happens every single day. Every single day. Let's swing around here to, I had something this morning, man. I got to remember what it was. Hold on, man. Hold on. All these children cranking up in here. All these children cranking up. Come on, we'll swing on back over here to 2 Chronicles 23 while I'm thinking on this other thing. 2 Chronicles chapter 23. Just something to think about. Don't let the people toss you all around about with that word like that. Better give strict attention. He said you better give heed to the things that you have heard and who you have heard them from. I think that's what a lot of people don't do. As a matter of fact, before we even get to 2 Chronicles 23, let me see Revelation, the 3rd chapter, please. Revelation 3rd chapter. Revelation 3 and 1. Is that speed stick for what y'all make? That's for what y'all make? Yeah, because they keep snatching that speed stick.
Go sit down.
Revelation 3 and 1. That's what, and you notice, you see what happened when you didn't watch. Calamity fell on this man's head immediately. That's what happens when you don't give strict attention to what that man say. Calamity falls on your head immediately. Revelation 3 and 1 though. And unto the Malachim of the synagogue and sergeants write, these things saith he that hath the 7 ruachs of Elohim, and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou live and art dead. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain, that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before Elohim. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. He said, if you won't watch, he gonna come see you. Now, if we looking at this word watch, we getting a little bit of understanding of what this word watch is really telling us about. And it's telling you to watch, to give strict attention, lest destruction come on you. Destruction came on the prophet because he didn't give strict attention, and calamity fell on him. That's the same thing that happened in Exodus 32. They weren't watching, calamity came on them. If you are not giving strict attention to what this man talking about, destruction gonna come on you. That's what I'm sitting there telling you. This man tell you to do something, you better give strict heed and attention to it. Go ahead and get Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because I was talking about earlier.
These messages to the church is kind of like the parable of the seeds.
No. That's just him giving a warning on the houses that belong to him. And it also shows you this here too. I'm also put it to you this right here, right? Because you see, he just told them to watch in the straight. Because you see how he just told them that their works weren't perfect. That's letting you know that there were people in these congregations and they were wilding, and that the master himself had to come talk to these people to straighten them. You know what I'm saying? Paul had already been writing letters to some of these congregations to straighten them. But you see, the master himself was giving word to John. This is what you need to go tell these people. He said, because I've been watching now. He telling the people in Sargents, y'all works ain't perfect. Y'all need to be watching. Because he said, if you're not watching, I'm going to come on you like a thief. And if we know watching means if you're not giving strict heed and attention to what he say, destruction is coming your way. So when y'all sit back and you look at watch, that's what he telling you. If you're not giving strict heed and attention to what he telling you to do, destruction is coming for you. That's the same thing he told that woman when she committed adultery. He said, you've been forgiven, go and sin no more. Or when he healed that lame man, he said, go and sin no more lest a worse thing come upon you. You better give strict heed and attention to what I'm telling you, lest some calamity fall on your head. See, we don't give strict heed and attention to what this man say. This is why calamity be falling on people's head. Look at what he told them though. You don't know when I'm coming though. That's what people don't realize. You don't know when he coming. And after we read this Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, we go to Hebrews chapter 10. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. See, in Exodus 32, he executed judgment speedily. To that prophet in 1 Kings 13, he executed judgment speedily. He didn't execute judgment speedily to the people that killed Hamashiach.
Salem.
Hebrews 10 and 25. I'm telling you, you wonder why niggas go do the stuff they be doing and acting the way they be acting because their judgment is perverted. They don't think that man gonna come see them. A nigga think they can go fornicate and they straight because ain't nothing happened to you right then. Nigga think because you told a lie and ain't nothing happened to you, you can tell another. You break the Sabbath, he ain't kill you right. See, judgment came speedily on the man who picked up sticks. But he didn't give, matter of fact, since we took that, hold this right here, right? Go to number 15. Let me show you somebody who ain't give strict heed and attention. Because he hadn't already told them about that Sabbath, right? He told them about that in Exodus 20 and Exodus 31. So he can't say he didn't know. 15. (15 to 32). See, people just think, oh, he killed somebody for picking up sticks. He's sitting back showing you what happened when you don't watch. When you don't give strict heed and attention to what he say, calamity can fall upon you. And while the children of Yasharal were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Shabbat day. And they found him gathering sticks. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and all the congregation. And they put him in a ward because it was not declared what should be done unto him. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died as Yahuwah commanded Moses, because he didn't listen. So calamity fell right on his head. From that, that's why he say, be watchful and strengthen the things that are ready to die. Because if you don't hold fast to what you heard and repent, I'll come upon you suddenly, and you're not going to be ready. He wasn't ready. That's why I asked y'all last night, if the man come back right now, are you ready? Have you been watching? Have you been giving strict heed and attention to what he said to you? He gave you instructions to follow. Have you been paying attention? When I say paying attention, I mean listening, giving heed to what he said. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't be giving heed. We don't give that strict attention to it because we have too many things that's getting in the way. That's why you say the cares and affairs of this life choke off the word and you can't bear no fruit because we worry about any and everything. So it don't cause us to have that strict. And when I'm talking about cares and affairs of this life, I'm talking about things that people want to do. I want to be happy. I want to accomplish this in my life. Basically what things, the word get put on the back burner. And I ain't talking about on no preaching. I'm talking about your obedience and following it. It get put on the back burner. Because he said choke off the word. So while you chasing this stuff over here, you not chasing the lamb. You're not keeping things in perspective. Hebrews 10:25.
Mommy.
26. Hebrews 10:26. For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remain no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation which shall devour the adversaries. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Because you didn't give strict heed and attention, a sore punishment has to fall upon your head. We don't consider those things though. I don't even think he know. 1 Peter chapter 4 actually. First Peter 4 and verse 7. Listen what he tell you, man. 1 Peter 4 and 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch under prayer. And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity cover a multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. Now he told you to be sober. Again, we mentioned what sober is. Sober is to be of a sound mind and to exercise self-control and to curb your passions. Now again, he told you to watch under prayer. And again, when we look at watch, it's the same thing again. This is a little different with watch in this word. It's a different Greek word. It's nepho. It's to be calm and collected in ruach, but to also be temperate, dispassionate, or circumspect. Now we're going to look at what it means to be circumspect according to the law. Exodus 23 and 13. After Exodus 23 and 13, Ephesians chapter 5. Or is that, yeah, Ephesians 5. Exodus 23 and 13. Exodus 23 and 13. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. The word for circumspect is shamar, and it means to keep, to guard, to observe, to give heed, to watch for, to wait, to keep, to retain, to treasure up in memory, to protect. We talked about last night how you need to guard your heart. Now let's look at Ephesians chapter 5. So you keep that thing about being circumspect is to hear the word and protect it, to guard it in your mind, to watch it or to give strict heed and attention to it. Galatians chapter 5, probably about verse 5. Galatians 5 and 5. That is not what I want. It's Ephesians 5 and 5. That's what I wanted. Yeah. But we'll drop it down to probably about verse 9. Matter of fact, yeah, 9 is cool. For the fruit of the Ruach is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the master. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. So the book is telling you that you shouldn't have no unity with anybody that does anything that is evil, but you ought to correct them. It's a lot of people that violate that simple precept because they have fellowship with people who walk in darkness and they have no problem in doing so. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved are made manifest by the light, for whatsoever doth make manifest is light. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleep, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the master is. What is the will of the master? What is his will? He said you ought to be circumspect, which means you ought to keep, observe, guard, and watch his word, which means you ought to give strict attention to his word. What is his will? Do we know what his will is? Well, let's look at the two things where he tells us what his will is. Let's look at John 6 and 26 and let's see what his will is. John 6 and 26. Yahushua answered them and said, truly, truly, I say unto you, you seek me not because you saw the miracles, but because you did eat loaves and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perish, but labor for the meat which endure unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him have Elohim the Abba sealed. Then said they unto him, what shall we do that we might work the works of Elohim? Yahushua answered and said unto him, this is the work of Elohim, that you believe on him whom he hath sent. So the number one, the will of Elohim is for you to believe on his son. The will of Elohim is for you to believe in his word. But what is the other aspect of what his will is? He told you not to be conformed to the ways of this world, but to be renewed in the Ruach of your mind. He also told you not to love the world. This is his will. Because he said you ought to understand or have the banal, the insight of what his will is. His will is sacrifice. Offering yourself as a living sacrifice. It's a lot of people, they're not keeping this man's will. Nigga think you sacrificing because you keep the Shabbat and don't eat a pork chop. He say the end is at hand. You need to watch. You need to be sober, which means you need to control your passions. Self-control, that means you need to mortify your members. That means you need to crucify yourself. That's his will. We'll look at that in a minute. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. After that, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And now we'll just go from there. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Listen, hold on. Let me pull that. These Greek words for that. Stay in the book. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the favor that is brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. This man told you to gird up. To gird up is to be prepared. You need to have your mind prepared. How do you have your mind prepared? You have your mind prepared by renewing your thoughts. He told you to gird up the loins. Just to say, this is where the place where Hebrews thought the generative power or semen resided. You know what I'm saying? Where does your power reside at? Your power doesn't necessarily reside in your loins in between your legs, but in your mind. That's why he told you to gird up the loins of your mind. So if he's saying where's the regenerative power, what he felt like that was, that's your heart. When you're looking at your mind, that's your faculty, your way of thinking. You need to watch over it and protect it. We need to have our minds prepared to meet our Elohim. We don't have our minds prepared to meet this man. Verse 14 says, as obedient children, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. But as he which have called you is Kadesh, so be ye Kadesh in all manner of behavior. Because it is written, be ye Kadesh, for I am Kadesh. That's the will of Elohim for you to be set apart. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Let's look at the will of Elohim again. First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 1. Furthermore, then, we beseech you, brethren, exhort you by the Master YAHUAH, that as you have received of us how you ought to walk and to please Elohim, so would you abound more and more. For you know what commandments we gave you by the Master YAHUAH. For this is the will of Elohim, even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication, that every one of you should know how to possess his vessel in sanctification and in honor, not in the lust of conspicuance, even as the Gentiles which know not Elohim. So the will of Elohim is for you to keep your body clean, to keep your body pure, to abstain from sexual immoralities as having sex without being married and defiling your body. Because he say, whoremongers and adulterers, he shall judge. You got people when they see that Hebrews 13 and they says the wedding bed, the marriage bed is undefiled, they think that means that you could just do whatever you want to do when you're married. You know what I'm saying? When all he's telling you is that if you're married, whether Kadeshim or sinner, that bed is clean. A whoremonger's bed is not clean. An adulterer's bed is not clean. A fornicator's bed is not clean. Because that's a sin. That man told you in Mark chapter 7, it's not what goes into a man that defile him, but what come out. And he listed fornication and adulteries as what defiles a man. So what marriage bed being undefiled is not you can have anal sex or oral sex. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about that bed is clean because you're married. He say marriage is honorable in all. Marriage is honorable to Yahuwah whether you righteous or not. But the will of Elohim is that you sanctify yourself and keep yourself pure and keep yourself clean. Who was that before that? No, it was something else I was thinking about. Romans chapter 8. Let's look at the will of Elohim again. Romans 8 and 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and shalom. But the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim, for it is not subject to the law of Elohim, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. But you are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach, if so be that the Ruach of Elohim dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Ruach of Mashiach, he is none of his. And if Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life because of righteousness. So the will of Elohim is, he says, Elohim so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. The will of Elohim was for his son to die for the sins of the world. So the will of Elohim is for you to sacrifice yourself. Because then the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is alive because of righteousness. Did he just tell you that one of the meanings of watching in the particular verses is having control over your passions and your desires, your flesh, your mind? That's why he told you to bring all your thoughts into captivity to Mashiach. You have to use the word to subdue your flesh, to control your passions. You have to mortify your members. Galatians 5 will tell you about it. Let's look at it. 5 and 22. Is that crying like that? 25 and 22. But the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, shalom, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no Torah. And they that are Mashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. Those that belong to Mashiach have mortified their members. They no longer live according to the flesh. They no longer live according to their desires. Just swing over here to the 14th chapter, the 6th chapter of this same epistle. And look at the 12th verse. Galatians 6 and 12. And it says, and as many as desire to make a fair show in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised, only lest they should suffer persecution for the sake of Mashiach. Since a lot of people don't want to suffer the persecution that comes with denying themselves of following this man. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you something. Hold what you got. Come over here to Isaiah 59. And we'll come right back. He said, lest you suffer persecution for the sake of Mashiach. Let's see why you will suffer persecution for the sake of Mashiach. All because you will be watching and keeping guard of the word and giving strict attention to what he said. Isaiah chapter 59. Make sure I got the right place that I want. Isaiah chapter 59 and about verse 12. Isaiah 59 and 12. For our transgressions are multiplied before thee, and our sins testify against us. For our transgressions are with us, and as for our iniquities, we know them. That's why I be telling you, man, don't let these niggas fool you and don't think they don't know what they out here doing. That man just sat back and said our transgressions are multiplied, our sins testify against us, our transgressions are with us, and our iniquities we know them. He saying transgressing and lying against Yahuwah, and departing away from our Elohim, speaking oppression and revolt, conceiving and uttering from the heart's words of falsehood, and judgment is turned away backwards, and justice stand afar off, for truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter. Yea, truth fall, listen what he say, and he that depart from evil make himself a prey. And he said, Yahuwah saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. Now, when you sit back and you come back to Galatians 6 and 12, why you think he say, unless a man suffer persecution for the sake of the cross, they try to avoid that. Because when you avoid evil, you make yourself a prey. You open yourself up for people to come persecute you and abuse you because they hate you. But he that despiseth not man but Elohim. Let's look at verse 13 now. And let's look at something come up. As a matter of fact, hold on. Pray the Lamb. John chapter 7 before we look at this. I'm going to show you an example of what we're talking about right here. John chapter 7. 7 and 14. We come right back to Galatians chapter 6 right after that. Now about the midst of the feast, Yahushua went up into the temple and taught. The Yahudym marveled, saying, how know this man letters, having never learned? Yahushua answered them and said, you know what I say that? If he teaching them letters, what type of letters you think he was teaching them? He was teaching them Abarim. He was teaching them Hebrew letters. They say, how this man know Hebrew letters? Ain't nobody ever taught him. So don't sit back and think that your ancestors didn't know what them Hebrew characters meant and what they were supposed to be pointing to. Don't think them people didn't know. He said, and the Yahudym marveled, saying, how know this man letters, having never learned? Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. So 9 times out of 10, just looking at the context clues of what you reading, that man was teaching them letters in that synagogue. And 9 times out of 10 wasn't a temple. My apologies. And he should have, and 9 times out of 10, he might have been showing them that them things were pointing to him. And they missed it. Because all they were caught on is, how does he know it and nobody taught him? Yahushua answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me. The reason why we can say context clue, because doctrine is teaching. So he was teaching them something about those letters. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine, whether it be of Elohim or whether I speak of myself. He that speak of himself seeketh his own esteem. But he that seeketh his esteem that sent him, the same is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. Did not Moses give you the Torah? Yet none of you keep the Torah. Why go ye about to kill me? Because a man depart from evil, he maketh himself a prey. The people answered and said, thou hast a devil, who go about to kill thee? Yahushua answered and said unto them, I have done one work, and ye all marvel. Moses therefore gave unto you circumcision, not because it is of Moses, but of the fathers. And ye on the Shabbat day circumcise a man. If a man on the Shabbat day receive circumcision, that the Torah of Moses should not be broken? Are ye angry at me because I have made a man every whit whole on the Shabbat day? Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Then said some of them of Jerusalem, is not this he whom they seek to kill? But lo, he speak boldly, and they say nothing unto him. Do the rulers know indeed that this is the very Mashiach? Howbeit we know this man whence he is, but when Mashiach come, no man know whence he is. That's what they were stuck on. They just couldn't overlook the fact of. But if you sit back and see this, right, he's departing from evil, and because of this, he was making himself a prey. He was making himself open to spoil because the people wanted to kill him for it. Come on back to Galatians chapter 6. All because he gave strict heed and attention to what his father told him. Only reason why. Let me sit back and look at it because I'm trying. If something popped in my head. I'm trying to sit back and look at who it was he healed, but it's not in the chapter. Galatians chapter 6, verse 13. Listen what he tell them. He say, for neither they themselves who are circumcised keep the Torah, but desire to have you circumcised, that they may esteem in your flesh. That's what the master just told them. You seeking to kill me, don't none of y'all keep the law. But Elohim forbid that I should make oh dang, I missed the whole page. Elohim forbid that I should esteem save in the stake of our master Yahushua HaMashiach, by whom the world is crucified unto me, and I unto the world. For in Yahushua HaMashiach neither circumcision avail anything, nor uncircumcision, but a new creature. And as many as walk according to this rule, shalom be on them, and mercy upon the Yasharal of Elohim. From henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Master Yahushua. Brethren, the favor of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach be with your Ruach. Amen. So what you sit back and you look at is when you watch and you give strict heed and attention to the word, and you're able to govern your passions and keep yourself in subjection to the word, it causes yourself to make yourself a prey. It causes people to come after you, to want to destroy you and to take you down for what you're doing. Now we can go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Matter of fact, we don't even need to go to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Let's swing around here to Esther.
Go.
Come on, man.
Let me see, Esther chapter, what chapter do I want? What chapter do I want? Esther chapter 3. Probably about verse 10. Esther chapter 3, about verse 10. Because we have to sit back and look at that, because now you're going to sit back and see that because our people were departing from evil amongst these people, it made themselves a prey. And then we have to sit back and see how they were giving watch and heed to the strict instructions that were given unto them. we have to look at something in the book of Esther since it's Purim. Hold on, put in Esther chapter 3, let's say verse 10, make it 7. And it says, in the first month, that is the month Nisan, and the 12th year of King Xerxes, they cast pur, that is the lot, before Haman from day to day and month to month to the 12th month, that is the month Adar. Haman said unto King Xerxes, there's a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. And their Torah or their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. You know, it's a lot of brothers that always talk about this. When did we ever keep the Shabbat in captivity? Did we ever do this in captivity? But this man just said clear as day that these people keep laws that are different from everybody else. They don't live like everybody else. Therefore, we ought to kill them for it. So that means your ancestors were in captivity. And they were given complete heed and attention to what the book said. Now you can drop to about verse 12. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman commanded unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors that were over every province, and the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people thereof, after their language. In the name of King Xerxes was it written and sealed with the king's ring. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Yahudym, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to take spoil of them for a prey. For the copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all people that they should be ready against that day. The post went out being hastened by the king's commandment, and the decree was given in Shushan and the palace, and the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was perplexed. Now I want y'all to really sit back and understand something right now. These people gave a commandment to kill young and old, little children and women, because of obedience to the word. This is what they did. But I want y'all to look at something. Now swing over here to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Five and 4. Matter of fact, make it just 1. First Thessalonians 5 and 1. But of the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the master shall come as a thief in the night. For when they shall say shalom and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Now I want you to keep in mind that this is going to be sitting back referring to what's going to happen to these people who seeking to kill your ancestors. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. See, when you actually prepare yourself and take heed to the word and guard it and circumspect, then the evil days can't overtake you. It said that your ancestors were keeping the laws that were diverse from everybody else. Therefore, they wanted. See, I want y'all to understand something so y'all can really fully understand this. And I want you to hear this here. These people are going to come to kill you and your children. And if you are not watching, if you're not guarding, if you are not giving strict attention to what he say, they're going to take your children out. They're going to take you out. Because he's going to allow that calamity to fall on your head because you're not giving heed to what he's talking about. Now we're going to read something of what he said in Thessalonians. The same thing he said in Peter. To be sober and to watch and to pray. He told you in Luke 18 that men ought always to pray and not to faint. See, we shouldn't be sitting back, right? He told you something right there in James chapter 5. This man said in James chapter 5 that the prayer of a righteous man availeth much. The fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And we're going to turn around and see that not only just with one righteous man, but all these people together, afflicting themselves and suffering themselves and bearing in their marks of their body. Because you notice it said that they wanted to make these people for a prey and a spoil, right? Because they were departing from evil. See, y'all don't understand something. When you depart from evil, this is why I sit back and tell you that one day the person that's going to kill me is probably going to be someone very close unto me because you're departing from evil. You need to have your mind girded up. Somebody is going to kill you for this. There's book for this. And this ain't going to be no white folk. Somebody going to kill you for this because you're departing from evil. Therefore, you make yourself open for this. You doing evil. If you ain't doing evil, ain't nobody trying to do nothing to you. Matter of fact, since I said that, before we read this 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. 1 Peter chapter 2. Even though he's talking about government rulers. 1 Peter chapter 2. My bad. 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 14. You got to sit back and realize that your ancestors in the book of Esther were getting ready to suffer for righteousness' sake. That's why he say be watchful of the things that are ready to die. You're going to sit back and look at the things that are in you that are ready to die. You need to strengthen and gird up your loins to let them perish. Why do you need to let them perish? Because you need to mortify your members and control your passions. You need to control your emotions. You got to be in control of that to let them die so they don't carry you into sin. Because your flesh and your emotions and your passions can carry you to sin. But if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, Baruch are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. That's what we say, but and if. Everybody's not going to suffer for righteousness' sake. He say, but sanctify YAHUAH Elohim in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. Having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, that they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good behavior in Mashiach. For it is better if the will of Elohim be so that you suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing. For Mashiach also once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Elohim, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened in the Ruach. Notice that he said that it's better for you to suffer for doing right than for doing wrong. It's a lot of people that suffer for doing wrong. They suffer for doing wrong because their judgment is perverted, because they don't think that a sentence against an evil work is ever going to come. See, Haman had evil in his heart. And see, we didn't read why Haman really was mad with Mordecai. See, he was mad with Mordecai because Mordecai wouldn't bow down to him. But see, Mordecai had did something. It was a couple dudes that were plotting on King Xerxes, and he went and told Xerxes about it. So then they wrote his name in the Chronicles of Kings. And then one day something just came on Xerxes' head to pop the Chronicles of Kings open. And he said, what did we ever do for Mordecai for this particular matter? And they said, we ain't never did nothing for Mordecai on this particular matter. He said, you know what? We need to do something for Mordecai about this. And see, Haman was thinking that it was going to be something to honor him. And he was shocked and amazed when it was something to honor Mordecai. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is telling you, these people are suffering for well-doing. And you're going to see Yahuwah come through strong in their behalf. And we're going to sit back and see, as you done already seen with Haman, he spoke of these people evil, but they had done no evil. All they did was give strict heed and attention unto the word, followed it and obeyed it. Therefore, no calamity fell upon them suddenly for their evil works, because they weren't working in it. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 5 yet again. You are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the day, not of the night, nor of darkness. We're not of sin. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. Again, watch, to give strict attention, to be cautious, to be active, to take heed, lest calamity suddenly overtake you. And we're going to sit back and see how your ancestors were watching. They were watching, therefore calamity did not overtake them. And again, to be sober is to be temperate or dispassionate or circumspect. For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. Now, if you're going to be sober to be able to put on that breastplate, then that means you got to be able to know how to have self-control to calm your ruach so that people won't be able to move you to commit sin. Let's come back to Mordecai, though, and let's look at it. Esther 4. Listen to him. Verse 1. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes. And he went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry. And it came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. Pause. We're going to pause. I'm thinking about something. Anybody got any idea what I could be pondering upon when we looking at what we looking at here with Mordecai? Once he perceived everything that was done. Anybody got any idea? Now, Mordecai's name means little man. It also means a servant of Mars, but that's a whole other thing. It means little man. I'm going to show you something as forth as it means little man. The book of Obadiah. Come over here to the book of Obadiah. Book of Obadiah and verse 1, because it's only one chapter. It says a little man. Let's look at Obadiah 1 and 1. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith YAHUAH concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahuwah, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. There was an ambassador coming up to the heathen that was rising up against them in battle. Behold, I've made thee small among the heathen, and thou art greatly despised. The word small is katan, and it just means young and insignificant and unimportant. Least or lesser. Now Mordecai is sitting out with a bitter cry. He rent his clothes and put on sackcloth and went in the midst of the city and cried with a loud bitter cry. And it said it came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. Now, why would this be important? And we also sit back and look at it. He said, I made you small among the heathen, and this man's name mean a little man. So you're small and insignificant and unimportant. Isaiah chapter 53. Isaiah chapter 53. Isaiah 53 and 1. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of YAHUAH revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and at a root of a dry ground, that he have no form or comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid it as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Now Mordecai crying out because he was despised by Haman. He's a little man. You know, if you're little to me, they say you're insignificant. You're not important. When you turn around and you look at Mashiach, what do these people always constantly say to him when he would state certain things to these people? Let's look at John chapter 9 and let's look at something they said to this man. Notice that he said he was with grief and all of these things. John chapter 9, verse 25. Make it 22. These words spake his parents because they feared the Yahudym. The Yahudym had agreed already that if any man did confess that he was Mashiach, he should be put out of the synagogue. Oh, man. This thing gonna restart in 15 minutes. Dang.
Hurry up, man, buddy.
I can't even stop it. Y'all, there's going to be a break. Just letting you know that now. Because this thing is going to reset, start in 15 minutes. And I don't know how to stop it. Therefore said his parents, he is of age, ask him. Then again called they the man that was blind and said unto him, give Elohim the praise. We know that this man is a sinner. He answered and said, whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. One thing I know, that whereas I was blind, now I see. Then said they to him again, what did he to thee? How opened he thine eyes? He answered them, and I've told you already, and you did not hear. Wherefore would you hear it again? Will you also be his disciples? Then they reviled him and said, thou art his disciples, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that Elohim spake unto Moses. As for this fellow, we know not from whence he is. So to them, he was insignificant and unimportant to them. That's why he say, who have believed our report? He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But you notice that he say he cried out in the midst of the city. And that's what he said. It tells you in Proverbs that wisdom cried out in the concourse where? In the midst of the city, right? Mm-hmm. Now, where was Mashiach crucified at? In the midst of Jerusalem, in the midst of two thieves, right? Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question, right? How did the Mashiach rend his clothes and put on sackcloth? What do you put on sackcloth for? For mourning. Didn't Mashiach say he was exceedingly sorrowful even unto death? So do you think that he rent his clothes and put on sackcloth? And if he did rend his clothes, when did he rend his clothes and put on sackcloth? When they parted his garments. And when they parted his garments, what did they do? And what did he tell you that Purim was about? What did he read? He said that was for casting of lots. Come on back to Esther, man, because I got to speed this junk up a little bit, because it's going to cut these people short. But you notice how he say that he made him small among the heathen he would greatly despise? He made him small amongst Yasharal, because guess what? I'm going to show you how Yasharal is the heathen. I'm going to show you how Yasharal is the heathen. Jeremiah chapter 9. I'm going to show you how Yasharal is the heathen. Hold on. Because somebody going to be like, not heathen in flesh, but heathen in mind. Because he tell you, he say, if you walk against the law, your circumcision is counted for uncircumcision. You ain't no different from a heathen when you disobedient to the word, when you ain't been watching it, when you ain't been ready, when you ain't been guarding it. You no different than a heathen in Yah's eyes. 9 and 25, Jeremiah. Behold, all the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Mizraim and Yehudah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the uttermost corners that dwell in the wilderness, for all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Yasharal are uncircumcised in heart. Now let's look at something in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Man, I thought she was asleep, but she was trying to go to sleep. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, so you can get an understanding on that. Because if you circumcise in the heart, I guarantee you guarding the word. Niggas ain't guarding the word. That's why they do the stuff that they be doing. You not watching. 1 Corinthians 7 and 18. Is any man called being circumcised? Let him not become uncircumcised. Is any called in uncircumcision? Let him not be circumcised. Circumcision is nothing, and uncircumcision is nothing, but the keeping of the commandments of Elohim. See, a lot of people like to glory in their flesh. But he said all these things, but we looked at what the commandment of Elohim was. It was to believe on him whom he has sent, and to be set apart. Niggas is only set apart in the word that come. All niggas want to do is say sanctification, consecration, Kadesh, or holy. Niggas just want to talk it, they don't want to live it though. Let's look at what that is. Romans chapter 2, verse 22. What is it? No, Romans 2 and what? 25. For circumcision truly profiteth, thou keep the Torah. But if thou be a breaker of the Torah, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. That's why I say Yasharal is a heathen. He made small amongst the heathen. Because their circumcision was made uncircumcision because they were breaking the law continually. We just read in John chapter 7, he say, y'all seek about to kill me, but y'all don't keep the law. Your circumcision has been made for uncircumcision. You don't keep it. You a heathen in the eyesight of Yahuwah. You no different than that. Therefore, if the uncircumcision, oh, that's good. We don't need the rest of that. We don't need the rest of that. Come back to Mordecai though. Esther chapter 4. Praise y'all for the word. Hopefully I can abort that restart, y'all. I doubt it though. I don't know how long it's going to take. There will be a delay. I will cut it back on once it's ready. There is going to be a delay in 8 minutes. No, it usually doesn't last that long. Listen, verse 3. So again, right, we know that now when they say none can come into the king's gate in sackcloth, that means the son couldn't come unto the father in the Kadesh temple or in his gate dressed in mourning apparel. That takes you back to Joshua, the 3rd chapter, when he had on them filthy garments and he told him to change his clothes and he put him on clean garments, because you can't come in there with the garments of mourning. Not in the temple. Don't come in here mourning. Remember, right, they cast lots for his clothing. That's Purim. And like I said, and they gave gifts on Purim, and his life was the gift. And in every province wheresoever the king's commandment, his decree came, there was great mourning among the Yahudym. There's another place I can't recall where I seen it at, where the word watch means to mourn. So they were watching, they were guarding, they were keeping the word because they were giving strict heed and attention for it, and they were mourning because of what was going to happen to them. Listen what it said. And fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. If they wailing, you don't think these people watching and praying? So Esther's maids and chamberlains came in and told her, and the queen was exceedingly grieved. And she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So Hatak went forth to Mordecai to the street of the city which before the king's gate, and Mordecai told him of all that happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Yahudym to destroy them. And he gave him of the copy of the writing of the decree that was given to Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and declare it unto her, and charge her that she should go in unto the king, and to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her people. We know from Hebrews chapter 7 that the master makes supplication unto the father, unto the king, because we talked about how he was the king a couple of days ago, on our behalf, that we should not be destroyed. We need to always keep that in mind, because we didn't hit the righteousness of Esther too hard when we were talking about those women. And we know Esther is a star. And a star is symbolic of what?
Not a king.
Them and the sons of Elohim. So a star or a light is making supplication to the king that the people don't be destroyed. So I'm going to show you something. Zechariah 13. We got 6 minutes to this restart, y'all. 6 minutes. That's freaking technology for you.
Zechariah 13.
Zechariah 13. Zechariah 13 and 9. We'll read 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahuwah, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. Both the third part shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire and refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, and I will heal them. And I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahuwah is my Elohim. You would only be able to do that because you were watching and praying and guarding the word, giving strict attention that calamity don't fall upon your head. But you're about to read, come back to Esther chapter 4, you're about to read that they were doing. I'm trying to fit this in before the pause come, and then I pick it up once the pause is over. What verse did we stop at? We stopped at verse 8. Let's look at verse 15. Matter of fact, make it verse 13. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the king's house more than all the Yahudym. For if thou altogether hold thy shalom at this time, then there shall be an enlargement and a deliverance arise to the Yahudym from another place. But thou and thy father's house shall be destroyed. Who know whether thou art come to the kingdom for such a time as this? He said, how do you know, Esther, if you were not put in this position for such a time? And that's the same thing the master said. For this cause was I came into the world, because I came for such a time as this, to redeem the people from destruction. But Mordecai was letting her know, whether you do this or not, maybe salvation will rise up from another place. But better believe you're going to get murked. Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer. Go gather together all the Yahudym that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me. Neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. So will I go in unto the king, which is not according to the Torah, and if I perish, I perish. Now what's one of the things that when you fast that you're supposed to do? That's what fasting is, but you would be making prayer. You fast that your voice might be heard on high. They are watching and they are praying. Why? Because they were already giving strict heed and attention to the word. Because they're children of the day and not of the night. Remember, say Esther is the star, which is the light. The children of the day, we not of the night. Therefore, this calamity will not come upon us and we be unaware. See, a lot of people are going to be unaware of this man's return because they had not been watching and they had not been praying. That's why we read that in Mark 13. He told you to watch and pray. You don't know when I'm coming. A lot of people don't watch. A lot of people don't pray. We know watching means to keep and observe the word. Give strict attention to that calamity don't fall upon your head. Where we at? Esther. We're going to chapter 13, the chapter 9. We ain't going to get all into Haman. You know, Haman got killed. He sought to kill Mordecai and he got killed. He sought to get honored and Mordecai got honored. And this is also showing you what the book of Proverbs say, that if a man ways pleases Yahuwah, he even calls his enemies to be at shalom with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I've been thinking on, but that's a whole nother matter to show you what is the enemy? Who is man's enemy? If your ways please Elohim and he calls your enemies to be at peace with you, what you think he mean? So that means because Yahushah's ways pleased Elohim, he calls his enemy to be at peace with him. He calls that enemy to be destroyed. He destroyed that authority attached to chaos because his ways pleased Elohim. And if we turn around and do that, then the same thing will happen with us. But we'll deal with that more in depth another time. Esther chapter 9, man, verse 1. This coming, they're finna do it. Now in the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment, his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Yahudym hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Yahudym had rule over them that hated them. Luke chapter 1. That means the table's going to flip. We can look at Deuteronomy chapter 30 to back that up too. The table's going to flip. All you got to do is watch and pray. He say he'll avenge your enemies speedily, but when the Son of Man returns, shall he find faith on the earth? Wow, the whole book of Luke going in this book. That's it.